Live from Cheyenne, Wyoming, Post 22 Baseball is on the air on ESPN Radio Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and streaming live on the internet on Hardhats-TV. With that, we say good morning, and we welcome you inside our press box here at Powers Field in Cheyenne, Wyoming. This is Mark Benetti alongside you in the broadcast booth, bringing you all of the doubleheader action for today's two showdowns between the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers and your Post 22 Hardhats. Once again, we have another story of a team that has innings under their belt against a team that is still trying to find its stride in the very early stages of this American Legion baseball season this summer. Cheyenne comes into this matchup with a 7-1 record and a 6-game winning streak against a Post 22 team that somehow was able to gut out a 12-inning victory in their home opener and season opener on Wednesday night against the Gillette Riders of Post 42. It wasn't the prettiest game in the world, but at the end of the day, it still goes in the win column all the same, whether it was the most immaculate game you could think of or a game that teams would like to forget, even though they were able to pull off the win. The Hardhats have a 3-game slate this weekend against Cheyenne, and as I mentioned moments ago, this is the start of a morning doubleheader. So after this, we'll take a quick recess, and we'll play another 7-inning game between both of these clubs. So let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineups for both teams as we get ready for this first matchup in the doubleheader. We will start off with the Hardhats. They're going to bat in the top halves of our 7 innings of regulation in this morning's first matchup. Leading up for Post 22 is number 13, Connor King. He's going to patrol center field. Batting second is number 22, Cooper Bowman. He is at the shortstop position. Batting third is number 21, Matt Hegre. He is in the hot corner at third base. And in the cleanup position is number 15, Zach Sumption. He is patrolling right field. Batting fifth is number 18, early stages Weaver. He's patrolling of this left field. Batting sixth is number 23, Jack Sorensen. He is the designated hitter. Batting seventh is number 30, Jace Caldwell. He will play at first base today. Batting eighth is number 25, Ryan Schmidt. He is the backstopper and catcher. And rounding out the batting order for the Hardhats is number 10, Carter Deming, and he is playing defensively at second base. We turn to the Hardhats pitching for today, and Dylan Ritchie's going to get the nod. He came in relief on Wednesday night in that season opening matchup and pitched 4 spectacular innings of work. He allowed 4 hits, 1 run that was earned, struck out 5 and walked 2. He hit a batter as well, but Dylan, I thought, looked very poised at a spot where his team was down. They needed somebody to rally around to get some momentum on the mound, and that happened to be number 28 for the Hardhats, and he got the job done. Dylan Ritchie's going to take on the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers lineup as follows in the bottom halves of our 7 innings today. Starting off with Game 1, leading off is number 13, Nico Vite. He's playing out at second base. Batting second is number 3, Ryan Andren. He is at the shortstop position. Batting third is number 5, RJ Prince. He's in the hot corner at third base. And in the cleanup position is number 7, Max Pedroza. He's the backstopper and catcher. Batting fifth is number 50, Cody Brooks. He's playing out at first base. Batting sixth is number 12, Matthew Sembler. He's patrolling right field. Batting seventh is number 16, Sam McIntosh. He's the designated hitter. Batting eighth is number 25, Storm Nelson. He's patrolling center field. And rounding out the batting order in the 9th spot for the Sixers is number 14, Jackson Hesford. He's patrolling left field. Travis Onisto, number 11, is going to take on the Hardhats batting order in the top halves of our innings when he takes the mound around his defensive alignment. So the Hardhats, again, they're coming off of an emotional 12-inning victory on Wednesday night against the Gillette Riders of Post 42. 9 combined errors in the game for both sides. And the Hardhats, thanks to some stellar relief pitching and a gutted-out attitude, were able to pull off the win in the bottom of the 12th on a walk-off error. The Hardhats only managed their 5 runs on 5 hits and then had the 5 errors on defense, while Gillette countered with 4 runs on 11 hits and 4 errors. We talked again before the season started with head coach Kelvin Torvey in his first year as the manager of the Post 22 Hardhats, and he had said that while his team is young, they have a ton of grit. They understand what it means to compete. You can't coach at compete level, and we obviously saw that on Wednesday night when this team came out and they played some admirable baseball. So here's hoping that this team can shake off that rust even further today against the Cheyenne team that is hot with 6 wins in a row. And you take a look at where Cheyenne comes in to this matchup in 2 of their last 3 games, they've won by at least a run. So it's been very close. They took on Laramie and they won 9-8 their last game on Sunday. And then on Saturday the 28th, they beat Sheridan 5-4. Prior to that, they played against the Gillette Rough Riders at the Hardhats on Wednesday. They beat them 6-3. So they've played in a ton of close matchups as of recently, but they are riding 6 consecutive victories. So this is a team that has gotten the job done on a consistent basis the last couple of times they have been out. Well, we have both of our managers exchanging lineups. Our umpires are walking through their expectations for this ball game as well. And we're just moments away from first pitch here for the start of 2 games today. The games were originally supposed to start at 5 o'clock, but I believe there was a conflict of scheduling with the local prom for the high school. So they wanted them to enjoy their evening and not have to worry about missing that. So both teams had agreed to get game time switched. So we have morning matchups. The Post 22 Expos will be playing later tonight as part of that schedule switch. And as scheduled tomorrow, the normal start time for the 1 7-inning game Post 22 has against Cheyenne Post 6 will be at 11:30 in the morning. It is absolutely gorgeous today. It is 66 degrees. I have a nice draft coming in on my side of the press box here at Powers Field. There's maybe a handful of clouds in the sky. Sun's behind us as of right now just because it's still morning. But my goodness, is this a fantastic day for baseball. We were worried as to whether or not we were going to have the conditions on Wednesday night back in Rapid City to be able to get the game off against Gillette. But the weather acquiesced to our desire to get the game off without a hitch. And sure enough, that is exactly what happened when the Hardhats and the Riders were able to square off on Wednesday night. So right now, the reserves are being announced for Cheyenne and soon to follow the Hardhats. The Hardhats are getting ready to take to offense first in this game. Speaking with Coach Torvey and the pitching coach Ryan Clapperidge, the Hardhats' MO today in this doubleheader is we're going to see a ton of young pitching. And it is young pitching that is talented, and if they keep on the right path, my goodness, are they going to be a force to be reckoned with when they get older. Right now, they're already showing stellar numbers. A few 15-year-olds on the pitching staff throughout the entire organization that are throwing mid-80s, maybe even high 80s. Imagine what happens when they get bigger and stronger and years older towards the latter end of their high school and post-22 careers when they're throwing upwards of high 80, low 90. The ceiling for this team is insanely high. And in speaking with Coach Torvey prior to the start of the season, the most dangerous thing that you can give a team that is this young are 2 things, hope and opportunity. You give them the hope of where this team can go, whether it's this season or seasons moving forward, and then the opportunity to execute upon those hopes is just a very dangerous combo for a very young, talented, and gritty team. So we're looking forward to seeing that showcased as the season continues. Folks, we're going to take a quick breather. We're going to have the playing of the national anthem. We'll be set for first pitch in just a few moments. First of 2 games to be played this morning between the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers and your Post 22 Hardhats on ESPN Radio, Rapid City. We have the call to play ball, so that's exactly what we are going to do. Cheyenne post 6, moments away from taking the field. The post 22 Hardhats, moments away from taking to the batter's box to start off today's doubleheader against the Cheyenne post 6 Sixers. Thanks so much for joining us this morning here on ESPN Radio Rapid City, the official radio home of post 22 Hardhats baseball, and if you are watching this game on the internet at Hardhats-TV. Mark Minetti alongside you in our broadcast booth here from Powers Field in Cheyenne, Wyoming, as the Hardhats take on the Sixers, the first of 2 games to be played today, and the first of 3 to be played overall on this weekend road trip. First road trip of the year for the Hardhats. Again, they're coming off of that emotional 5-4 victory in 12 innings against the Gillette Rough Riders of post 42. Back on Wednesday night, their season and home opener. And it wasn't the prettiest of games, but a win is a win is a win. That's all that matters for Coach Torvey and company. Travis Anisto, the left-handed pitcher, has taken to the mound. He will take on the top 3 of the Hardhats batting order due up here in the top of the first of our 7 innings of regulation. That is Connor King, the center fielder, Cooper Bowman, the shortstop, and Matt Hegry, the third baseman. Defensive alignment for Cheyenne post 6. So Anisto, as I mentioned, is on the mound. He's paired up with his battery mate catcher, Max Pedroza. And first is Cody Brooks. Second, Nico Vite. At shortstop is Ryan Andren. And in the hot corner at third is R.J. Prince. Left to right in the outfield, Jackson Hesford, Storm Nelson, and Matthew Semler. It'll be a lefty-on-lefty matchup to start up for the Hardhats. Connor King will go to the batter's box to start things off for post 22, as Anisto is still finishing up his warm-up pitches. Dimensions of this field are fairly identical the whole way around. 340 to either corner in left and right field, and 405 to dead center right at the batter's eye. It is a turf field as well. That is going to play into defense for the Hardhats infield and the Cheyenne infield alike. Judging the trajectory of a ground ball, a chopper, towards their respective positions. The Hardhats tend to perform very well on turf fields. Historically, at least, since I've been around, which has only been 3 years, now 4, but I think they enjoy the fact that they get to play on turf fields. Very well maintained, they're easy to maintain, and this field looks absolutely gorgeous, and the weather to go with it isn't too bad either. Anisto steps onto the rubber. Here comes Connor King. And we are underway officially as the first pitch hit him. And Connor King is going to take a free pass to first on the first pitch of the ball game. The ball game has officially begun, by the way, at 11:01 for those scoring at home with us. So the leadoff man is on by virtue of a hit by pitch. Connor King was 0 for 4 on Wednesday night. And now that will give way to Cooper Bowman, who went 2 for 5 with a double, an RBI, and the tying run to force extra innings. It was back in the bottom of the 8th against Gillette on Wednesday night. He has also struck out once. So the right-handed hitting shortstop steps into the batter's box. And he's still the lefty. Takes a look at King at first. And the first pitch is low and inside. Ball 1. Now, this is almost a point for the Hardhats. How many times do they get a lead man on first, or at least some runner on first, and he was asleep at the switch? The Hardhats were picked off 3 times on Wednesday night. They have to be awake out there and be smarter on the base path this time around. Anisto takes his time from the stretch, and the 1-0 inside called strike on the corner. And the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Matt Hegry, the third baseman, on deck. Bowman right now in the batter's box against the left-handed throwing Anisto. Connor King takes his lead off at first. Hit by pitch on the first pitch of the game allowed him entry on the base path. Here's the 1-1. That pitch misses low, fastball, and the count is now 2 balls and a strike to Cooper Bowman. Happy Cinco de Mayo to everybody celebrating back at home. All the fun festivities planned for later, I would imagine. Unless you wanted to get a head start, and you're starting right now. Anisto from the stretch, 2-1 to Bowman. Swung on, and that ball is chopped third base side, and it's a fair ball. They have signaled fair. Connor King round second. He's going to come to third as the ball goes all the way to the corner, and Cooper Bowman is going to take second. That was a narrow play down the third base line, and the Cheyenne coach is going to come and argue that to the umpire. As it stands right now, that is a double for Cooper Bowman, and the Hardhats, with no outs here in the top of the first, have 2 men in scoring position for Matt Hegry, the third baseman. So a discussion coming right now between Cheyenne coaching and our home plate umpire. And the third baseman obviously judged it to potentially be foul. That's why he didn't make much of a play at it, but the home plate umpire's ruling has stood. So Cooper Bowman gets a double in his first at-bat, his second double of the year. And that will now bring us to Matt Hegry with 2 men in scoring position and a chance to give the Hardhats an early lead. 2 men in scoring position, no one out here in the top of the first. And the left-handed Anisto deals his first pitch to Hegry. What a beautiful breaking ball that was, called the strike. 0-1 the count. Hegry went 1 for 3 on Wednesday night. He walked twice, so he was on the base path 3 different times in the season opener. 0-1 to Hegry. High and away, and the count evens up to a ball and a strike. Matt Hegry looking for his second hit of the season. And if he was to get it, then surely he could knock in 2 to give the Hardhats an early lead here. Bowman on second with the double. King on third. Nobody out here in the top of the first. 1-1 is fought off foul, first base side, and that stays in the field of play, but rolls away from the first baseman, Cody Brooks. And the count's now a ball and 2 strikes to Hegry. And he's still looking for a big first out here at the plate. A pitch away from accomplishing that task. Ball and 2 strikes to count here to Hegry. And Anisto deals. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So there's the first strikeout from Anisto, that big first out we were talking about. 1 down for the Hardhats on offense, still 2 men in scoring position, and that's going to bring up the cleanup hitter, Zach Sumption. Sumption was 0 for 4 in the season opener on Wednesday night. Walked once and struck out once. And the lefty Anisto looks in for the sign from Max Pedroza, the catcher. First pitch to Sumption. Breaking ball caught the outside part of the plate for strike 1. 0-1 the count. Very early in this game, Anisto looks to have really good control over that breaking pitch. Just a nice smooth curve to it. No balls and a strike to count. And Anisto deals. Fastball caught the outside part of the plate for strike 2, and quickly Sumption's in an 0-2 hole. Sumption has his first 2 batters of the game in scoring position. Connor King hit by a pitch. He's on third. Cooper Bowman doubled to second. No balls, 2 strikes to Sumption. And Anisto deals. Caught him looking. Strike 3 on the outside part of the plate. And so back-to-back punch-outs from Anisto. That has certainly swung the momentum of this top half of the first inning. And that's going to bring up the left fielder, Alex Weaver. Alex Weaver went 1 for 4 on Wednesday night. He walked once, didn't strike out. He scored twice, including the first run of the ballgame for the Hardhats on Wednesday. First pitch, high and away to Weaver for ball 1. So he starts off ahead 1-0. The Hardhats really need to knock in at least one of these 2 runs. It will be an absolute travesty for them to get this start that they got with King, a free pass to the base path, Cooper Bowman, a double that almost wasn't. It's about taking advantage of opportunities you have. Here comes the 1-0. Weaver looks at that breaking ball, and it's a called strike down the heart of the plate. 1-1 now the count here to the Hardhats left fielder. If he perpetuates the inning, Jack Sorensen, the DH, is on deck. If not, then a great scoring chance for the Hardhats will have been squandered, and they'll transition to defense. Here comes the 1-1 from Anisto. Swung on, and that ball's hit high in the air to center field. Underneath it, charging in is Storm Nelson. He's going to make the catch. That will retire the side and end the Hardhats' threat. No runs on a hit with no errors charged to Cheyenne on defense. 2 men left on the base path, both in scoring position. A brilliant opportunity for the Hardhats squandered here, and at the end of a half an inning, we still have no score, and Cheyenne will come up to the plate. Take a quick breather, folks. We'll be right back with the bottom half of the first inning here on ESPN Rapid City and streamed on the internet at Hardhats-TV.
Coke Zero goes with things like this. This. And this. Coke Zero tastes like this.
He shoots! He scores!
It sounds like this. It feels with things like this. This.
Post 22 Hard Hats Baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Well, the Hard Hats had a glorious opportunity to get on the board first, and unfortunately could not deliver. The first two batters of the game got on the base path, and Cheyenne staved them off. So now the Hard Hats transition from offense to defense. Dylan Ritchie on the mound for the start. He'll take on Nico Vite, the second baseman, Ryan Andrew, the shortstop, and R.J. Prince, the third baseman, in that order to start the bottom half of the first inning. Hard Hats defensive alignment has Ritchie on the mound, paired up with his battery mate and catcher, Ryan Schmidt. At first is Jace Caldwell, second Carter Deming, at shortstop Cooper Bowman, and in the hot corner at third is Matt Hegry. Left to right in the outfield, Alex Weaver, Connor King, and Zach Sumption. Dylan Ritchie, the right-hander, throws into the right-handed batting Nico Vite, and his first pitch is a fastball upstairs for ball one. Ritchie came in relief on Wednesday, pitched 4 innings, and was quite impressive. 5 strikeouts to 2 walks and a hit batsman. Allowed 1 run on 4 hits. And the 1-0 is a called strike, fastball in the outside corner, and the count evens up to a ball and a strike. Dylan Ritchie had a couple of opportunities to pitch last year for post 22. And showed Ritchie last year pitched in 9 games. He went 3-0. Ends up the base path, bottom of the first. 2-2 for Ritchie. High and away, and the count goes full. So Vite a pitch away from a free pass on this payoff pitch. Ritchie looks into Schmidt, and he'll come from the stretch as well. Payoff pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. That's the first strikeout of the ball game on the first batter faced for Dylan Ritchie. So 1 up, 1 down for the Hard Hats on defense, and that'll bring us to Ryan Andrew, the shortstop. He also is a right-handed batter. One out, bottom of the first. No score, no one on. And the first pitch. Just missed low and away, and the count goes to 1-0. So that's 2 batters in a row. Ritchie has started off with a first pitch ball. Ball and no strikes to count. Second batter of the game faced for Ritchie. And the 1-0 pitch is high and away on a fastball. 2 balls, no strikes. Ritchie sets. And here comes the 2-0. Swung on, and that ball's hit high in the air, right field side. And it looks like it's going into foul territory. And unable to make a play on it was Zach Sumption. He hustled. Got to give him credit for showcasing the motor there, but couldn't catch up to the ball. So now 2-1 the count here to Ryan Andrew and the Cheyenne shortstop. Ritchie struck out his first batter, Nico Vite, on a payoff pitch. On a swing and a miss. 2 balls and a strike here to Andrew. And the pitch is low and skips to Schmidt. 3 balls and a strike to count. So Andrew in a pitch away from a free pass with R.J. Prince, the third baseman, on deck. 3 balls and a strike to count. And Ritchie delivers. And it missed low for ball 4. So Andrew draws a 1-out walk. There's a man on now for Cheyenne, and that'll bring up R.J. Prince, the third baseman. Prince also a right-handed batter, so that's 3 batters in a row right-handed for Cheyenne. Looks to be 4 if I'm seeing Max Pedroza, the cleanup hitter, correctly in the on-deck circle. Man on, 1 out, no score, bottom of the first. And the first pitch to R.J. Prince is low for ball 1. So a few control issues off the hop for Ritchie. Missing the zone with that fastball just a little bit. Very early, though. You can get into his groove within a couple of pitches. Here's the 1-0. And that pitch missed low. Off-speed pitch to left center. Here in a scoreless second base to right field, respectively, where there was no communication. The ball was dropped as a result. So good for Cooper Bowman to not only hustle from shortstop to try and make the play, but for Connor King, who had a better line on the ball, to call him off the way he did. Communication very undervalued, especially at some of these lower levels. It was good to see that that was executed as best as it could be. Max Pedroza, the cleanup hitter, now up. Man on first, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. And his first pitch from Richie is swung on and ripped foul. That goes out of play first base side. 0-1 the starting count here to Pedroza. If he perpetuates the inning, Cody Brooks, the first baseman, left-handed hitting batter, is in the on-deck circle. If not, the Hardhats will see 6, 7, and 8 due up in the top of the second. Here comes the 0-1. Off-speed pitch, swung on, and it's ripped into left field, and that's going to drop for a base hit. Weaver fields it into Cooper Bowman as Andrin advances to second. So a 2-out single here for Pedroza. Men on first and second. 2 outs here in the scoreless bottom of the first. That's going to bring up the left-handed hitting Cody Brooks. So Cheyenne has a chance to deal some damage here. And first pitch is swung on and fought off foul. 0-1 to Brooks. Only lefty so far in the Cheyenne batting order, as far as Dylan Ritchie's concerned, on the mound. Andrin in scoring position on second. Pedroza on first. Both gentlemen singled to reach the base path. Pedroza with 2 outs. No balls and a strike to count. And the pitch is outside. Ball and a strike to count. And I misspoke. I had it incorrectly in my scorebook. Andrin walked. So only 1 hit, a single for Pedroza there. Ball and a strike to count. Here to the left-handed hitting Brooks. And here's the 1-1. Oh, they called time just before he released it. That's always tough. I remember my broadcast partner last year, Tom Rudawish, and I would discuss that happening, that little gamesmanship there, if you will. That's just a part of the game. 1-1, breaking ball doesn't break down. It's high, 2-1. Now to Cody Brooks. I mean, once the pitcher's in that motion like that, you can't expect him to stop all of his mechanics to get the pitch off, to hold the ball. Here comes the 2-1. Swung on, and ball is fouled off, third base side and out of play. And the count evens up 2-2. 2 men on, 2 out. No score here in the bottom of the first. Between the Cheyenne post 6 Sixers and the post 22 Hardhats. Richie looking to punch out to end the inning. Checks the runner at second. A double take. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, and that ball is ripped into right field, and that's going to drop for a base hit. Sumption comes in to field it. They are sending Andrin home, and the throw is not in time. And the catcher Schmidt got knocked off the path as well. And they are counting the run. So Cheyenne on a 2-out RBI single from Cody Brooks takes a 1-0 lead over the Hardhats here in the bottom of the first inning. Pedroza advanced to third on the play from first, and scoring from second was Andrin. So 1-0 is the Cheyenne lead. Men on the corners now and 2 outs. Matthew Semler, the right fielder's up. Right-handed batter. Richie looks into Schmidt for the sign, and he takes a look at both corners. And his first pitch. Called strike, a fastball over the heart of the plate. 0-1 the count here to Semler. If Semler keeps the inning going, Sam McIntosh, the DH, is on deck. If not, Jack Sorensen leads off 6, 7, and 8, due up in the top half of the second, excuse me. No balls and a strike to count here to Semler. And the pitch. Swung on and check swung, and it skips away from Schmidt. And a run's going to come in and score, and the runner from first will advance to second. So Pedroza comes in from third. You get a second run, and it's now 2-0. And the 0-2. 2 runs on 2 hits. No errors charged to the Hardhats in this inning as of right now. Richie takes a look at second. And the pitch is a breaking ball high and inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the count to Semler. Richie checks the runner on second. And the 2-2. Swung on and fought off foul. Semler stays alive, and the count holds at 2-2. Sam McIntosh is on deck if we get that far. Richie a pitch away from ending the first inning. 2-2 pitch. Just missed low and away. Richie thought he had the strikeout. He started walking off, and the umpire gave him a look and said, "Where are you going?" And so now the count's full with 2 outs. Richie thought he got him. One more pitch is required. Payoff pitch. And that's low for ball 4. And Richie can't believe it. And the inning keeps going. A 2-out walk issued to Semler. And now we have a meeting on the mound here with pitching coach Ryan Klapprich, Ryan Schmidt, the catcher, and Richie, the young pitcher. So as it stands, there's men on first and second with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the first inning. Cheyenne is struck twice. An RBI single from Max Pedroza, and then another RBI single from Cody Brooks. And Richie just needs to get things under control. He is 2 pitches shy of 30, and we haven't even finished an inning. So his pitch count dangerously high as of right now. And he will now take on the left-handed hitting Sam McIntosh, who is the designated hitter. Up from the stretch, give the runner at second a look, and the 0-1 is fouled. Chopped down the first base line, and quickly Richie's ahead on the mound, 0-2. If McIntosh somehow keeps the inning going, center fielder Storm Nelson's on deck. If not, Jack Sorensen leads off the top half of the second inning. No balls and 2 strikes to count here to McIntosh. Richie looking for his second strikeout of the morning. A look to second. Another look. And from the stretch comes the 0-2. Caught him looking. Strike 3 at the knees, and that's going to do it. So a big second strikeout for Richie ends the bottom half of the first, but the Sixers have dealt some damage. 2 runs on the power of 2 hits, with no errors charged to the Hardhats and 2 men left on base, 1 in scoring position. We've played 1 inning, and Cheyenne has the early 2-0 lead over the Hardhats as the Hardhats transition from defense to offense for the top of the second. We'll be right back in just a short moment, folks, here on ESPN Rapid City, the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats baseball, and on the internet, streamed live on Hardhats-TV. Well, we've played 1 of 7 innings so far, and the Hardhats currently trail the Sixers of Cheyenne Post 6 2-0, as Jack Sorensen will lead off the top half of the second for Post 22. Numbers across the board for the Hardhats, it's no runs on a hit with no errors on defense. And for Cheyenne Post 6, it's 2 runs on 2 hits with no errors as well on the defensive side. Mark Benetti alongside you in the broadcast booth here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. Back home in the Black Hills. We're also streamed live on the internet on Hardhats-TV and on Post22Baseball.com. My goodness, how different this game could have been. The Hardhats had their first 2 men on base with nobody out, and then forwards K, backwards K, F8 in the book to end the scoring threat. Both men actually made it to scoring position. Connor King was 90 feet away from giving the Hardhats a lead. They just couldn't knock him in. So Jack Sorensen, the 6-hole hitter, leads off the top half of the second, and his first pitch is a called strike on a fastball inside. He's behind 0-1. Sorensen on Wednesday night was the DH, and he went 0 for 4, struck out once and walked once. Here comes the 0-1. That's a breaking ball outside, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Sorensen followed by Caldwell and Schmidt here in the top half of the second. Those 3 gentlemen due up for Post 22. Travis Anisto, the lefty, deals the 1-1, and it's fouled off first base side and out of play. 1-2 is now the count to the DH Sorensen. Jack Sorensen, one of the returners from last season. Played the entire year at DH and first base, even came out and pitched a little bit. 1-2. Swung on, and that ball is popped up to shallow right field. Underneath it is Matthew Semler, and he makes the catch. F9 in the scorebook to start off the top half of the second. 1 up, 1 down for the Hard Hats on offense, and that'll bring us to Jace Caldwell, the first baseman. Jace Caldwell had a rough go on Wednesday night. He went 0 for 5 and struck out 4 times. We're looking for some more discipline from him at the plate in this second game of the season. First pitch from Anisto. Breaking ball, low and inside. Oh, that's a called strike. And Caldwell starts behind 0-1. Travis Anisto working that breaking ball to perfection in these first 2 innings. Here comes the 0-1. Swung on, and that ball is fought to first, and it goes off the glove of the first baseman, Cody Brooks. And Caldwell takes first on the E3. First error of the ball game, and the Hard Hats catch a break with 1 out. Jace Caldwell is on the base path, and that'll bring us to Ryan Schmidt, the catcher. Schmidt went 1 for 5 on Wednesday. He struck out 3 times as well. So between the 7 and 8 hole hitters, there were 7 strikeouts on Wednesday night. First pitch. Swung on, and that ball is hit high in the air. Foul territory, first base side, and it just goes over the fence. So Schmidt starts off with an 0-1 count. A man on first and 1 out here in the top of the second. The Hard Hats looking for their first run. They trail 2-0. Travis Anisto starting for the Sixers in this morning's first of 2 games to be played. Looks in for the sign. He'll come from the stretch, take a look at first, and the 0-1. Just missed. And the count evens up to a ball and a strike. That fastball looked like it was good for strike 2, but the home plate umpire had a different viewpoint. That's why I'm in the booth and not wearing a face mask behind home plate. Anisto takes his time. 1-1 pitch is a check swing, but Schmidt didn't follow through. That's low and inside. 2-1. Anisto trying to fool him with that breaking pitch again. He has located it very well. And it's not erratic. He's hit the spot his catchers have called for so far. 2-1 pitch is inside. A runner goes, and the throw to second is, well, moot. They're signaling that the ball hit Ryan Schmidt. And so Jace Caldwell will get the free pass to second anyway. That's the second hit batsman by Anisto in this game. So 1 out, men on first and second now for the Hard Hats as Schmidt was signaled to be hit by the pitch. Must have just clipped his jersey. That's going to bring up Carter Deming, the second baseman. Carter Deming, another returner from last year. He went 0 for 3 on Wednesday. Walked once and came around to score. He was responsible for drawing the walk-off error on Wednesday night. First pitch to Deming, a beautiful, pristine breaking ball in there for a strike. 0-1 the count here to Deming. That was a hot shot to third right through the 5-hole of the third baseman, Caden Race. No balls and a strike the count. Anisto takes his time, looks around the diamond at both of his runners on first and second. 0-1 pitch, floats in there for strike 2 called. Deming is yet to take the bat off his shoulder. It's 0-2. So he's quickly behind. After Deming, it's back to the top of the order to Connor King, who started off the whole ball game with a hit by pitch. And the 0-2 to Deming misses outside, and once again the bat stays on his shoulder. 1-2. Deming simply waiting for his pitch. Right center field, and it drops for a base hit. Coming around to score for the Hard Hats is Jace Caldwell. It's a 2-out RBI single for Connor King, and the Hard Hats are on the board, now trailing 2-1 with 2 outs here in the top of the second. Jace Caldwell comes around to score from second. Schmidt will advance to second. So it's men on first and second again, and Cooper Bowman comes up with 2 outs and a chance to possibly tie this one. Bowman 1 for 1. He doubled in his first at-bat in the top of the first, but he was stranded at scoring position. Again, this game could have been dramatically different in these early stages had the Hardhats been able to follow through in the top of the first. 2 men in scoring position and no one out, and 3 batters straight were retired. First pitch to Bowman misses low and inside, and Bowman starts off with a 1-0 count. If Bowman keeps the inning going, Matt Hegre is on deck. If not, 8, 9, and 1 are due up for Cheyenne in the bottom half of the second. Onisto steps onto the rubber and looks in for his sign. King on first with a 2-out RBI single. Schmidt on second. An error put him on the base path. 1-0 to Bowman. Skips away from the catcher. Pedroza goes to the backstop, and everybody will advance. So now Ryan Schmidt's 90 feet away from tying the ball game. Connor King 180 feet away from giving the Hardhats the lead. 2 balls, no strikes now the count here to Bowman as that pitch skipped away. So a wild pitch. And they're intentionally walking Bowman now to load the bases up, and that's going to bring up Matt Hegre. So American Legion now following the rule that the majors have. If you're going to intentionally walk a batter, you don't have to throw the ball 4 times. You can just say, hey, take the base and let the gentleman trot 90 feet. Every base occupied. 2 outs, top of the second. The Hardhats looking to further the score. And a breaking ball called strike against Hegre is his first pitch, and he starts behind 0-1. 90 feet from home, Schmidt. 180 feet from home is Connor King. 270 feet away from home is Cooper Bowman. 0-1 from Onisto, and that's a pitch up high. 1-1. Hegre 0 for 1. He struck out in his first at-bat on a 1-2 pitch. Swung and missed. So a base hit will surely give the Hardhats the lead here. King has some wheels on second. He could fly. And the 1-1 to Hegre. Swung on, and that ball is ripped high in the air to center field, and underneath it to make the catch and end the threat is Storm Nelson. And that will do it for the top half of the second. So the Hardhats end up getting a run. They are on the board trailing 2-1. It is 1 run on the power of 1 hit with 1 error charged to Cheyenne on defense, and the base is left loaded. We played an inning and a half, and Cheyenne still maintains the lead at 2-1 as they transition from defense to offense. We'll be right back with the bottom half of the second inning. Storm Nelson leads off for Cheyenne. 8, 9, and 1 due up for the Sixers here on ESPN Rapid City and streamed on the internet at Hardhats-TV. Well, the Hardhats are now on the board against Cheyenne as we transition to the bottom half of the second inning. 2-1 is now the Sixers' lead. Storm Nelson, the center fielder, will lead things off, the 8-hole hitter for the Sixers, followed by Jackson Hesford, the left fielder, and then back to the top of the order to Nico Vite. Mark Benetti alongside you in the broadcast booth here on ESPN Rapid City, the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball, and stream live on the internet through a video stream on Hardhats-TV. You can catch every single game streamed this year on Hardhats-TV. Bottom half of the second inning. Dylan Ritchie is back on the mound. A tad bit of a rough go there in the top of the first. The bottom of the first. He threw 31 pitches. He did strike out 2, but he walked 2 as well and allowed 2 runs on 2 hits. Ritchie looked great in relief on Wednesday night. His team really needed a shot in the arm, and he gave them one, literally and figuratively. So he looks into Storm Nelson, the right-handed hitting center fielder, and his first pitch is a swing and a miss on a fastball, and Ritchie starts off with a first pitch strike. Hesford on deck, a left-handed hitting left fielder, so that will be 3 lefties that he has seen in this order. 0-1 to Nelson is fouled off, and quickly Ritchie's in the driver's seat against Storm Nelson. 0-2 the count. And Ritchie starts it off with a K in the scorebook. That is his third of the ball game. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats on defense. And that'll bring up the left-handed hitting Jackson Hesford. Nobody on and 1 out here in the bottom of the second. The Hardhats trying to keep this one a 2-1 ball game in Sixers' favor. Ritchie pitches from the stretch and his We have played 2 innings. The Hardhats are now on the board. And Dylan Ritchie prevented Cheyenne from garnering any more runs in the bottom half of the second. He was looking for a 1-2-3 inning. A 2-out walk prevented that. But the gentleman he issued the walk to was caught stealing to end the bottom half of the second inning. Numbers across the board through 2 innings of play. For the Hardhats, it's a run on a hit with no errors. And for Cheyenne, it is 2 runs on 2 hits with 1 error on defense. Mark Benetti alongside you in the broadcast booth here on ESPN Rapid City, the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats baseball throughout the entirety of this regular season. We're also streamed live on the internet on Hardhats-TV. There must be a miscommunication between the scorebook and my book. I seem to have 2 hits for the Hardhats in this ballgame. Zach Sumption, Alex Weaver, and Jack Sorensen, the meat of the order, in that order, due up here in the top half of the third. Hardhats are looking to tie this game up. Travis Anisto still on the mound for Cheyenne, and the first pitch is swung on, and it's hit to short. Andrin gets the stop. Throw to first is not in time. And it's an infield single for Zach Sumption to lead off the top half of the third. So the leadoff man is on for the Hardhats for the second time in the last 3 innings. And that'll bring up Alex Weaver with a man on and no one out. Weaver 0 for 1 in the ballgame, as was Sumption until the infield hit. He flew out to center field with 2 men in scoring position in the top of the first to end the scoring threat. Anisto a look to first, and the first pitch is swung on and fouled on an inside breaking pitch. 0-1 the count. So now 3 hits in the ballgame for the Hardhats. Bowman's double. Connor King's RBI single, and now Zach Sumption's infield single. Sumption takes his lead off at first. And Anisto will give him a quick look. 0-1 to Weaver. Swung on, and the ball is chopped to the left of the mound. Stopped on the play by the third baseman, R.J. Prince. His throw to first is low, but it's in time. That'll be a 5-3 fielder's choice for Weaver as he advances Zach Sumption to scoring position. So 1 out and a man on second for the Hardhats. That'll bring up the DH, Jack Sorensen. Sorensen 0 for 1. He flew out to right field to lead off the top half of the second. Eventually, in that inning, the Hardhats would come around to score. Sorensen looking to switch places with Zach Sumption, who is in scoring position on second. Anisto a quick look to second, and his first pitch to the DH is a check swing that missed low. Good decision by Sorensen, and he starts off with a 1-0 count. My goodness, that breaking ball from Anisto is something else. It's freezing a lot of these Hardhats batters and causing them to question their swing the second they start the motion. Ball and no strikes to count here to Sorensen. He has Sumption on second with 1 out here in the top of the third. Hardhats looking to tie this game up. It's 2-1 Sixers right now. Anisto a double take to second. And the 1-0. Swung on, a breaking ball chopped foul third base side. And the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Jace Caldwell, the first baseman, is on deck. Responsible for the only Hardhats run. Reached on an error in the top of the second and came around to score on Connor King's 2-out RBI single. Ball and a strike the count here to Sorensen. Sumption on second. 1 out top of the third. The Hardhats trail by 1. And the 1-1 from Anisto. Breaking ball missed outside. 2-1 now to the Hardhats DH. 66 degrees here at Powers Field in lovely Cheyenne, Wyoming. Handful of clouds in the sky, and a tad bit windy. Kind of cold myself, actually. I have a draft coming in the booth. Here comes the 2-1. And that missed low and away. 3 balls and a strike now to Jack Sorensen. Jace Caldwell, patience of a saint, waiting in the on-deck circle. Onisto looks in to Pedroza for his sign, hoping to avoid a base on balls. Check Sumption at second twice. 3-1 pitch. And that's high and away, ball 4. So Jack Sorensen is issued a 1-out walk. That will put men on first and second for Jace Caldwell, the Hardhats first baseman. Caldwell 0 for 1, as I mentioned moments ago. He reached on an error and came around to score the only Hardhats run. Now he is looking to knock in the second and tie this ball game up. Maybe even more, depending on what he does. First pitch. Breaking ball. Swung on. That's hit up right to shortstop. Andrin with the stop. Takes the tag at second. Throw to first is not in time. And the first baseman, Cody Brooks, doesn't agree. That was a narrow play. So that is a 6 unassisted fielder's choice, as Caldwell is safe at first. And Zach Sumption advances to third. Jack Sorensen called out traveling to second, so it's men on the corners now with 2 outs for the Hardhats. And that will bring up Ryan Schmidt, the catcher. Tying run 90 feet to his left. And the first pitch. Swung on, and that ball's ripped up the middle and drops into center for a base hit. Coming in to score is Sumption, and advancing to second is Jace Caldwell. A 2-out RBI single for Ryan Schmidt, and we are all square, 2 runs aside. So good on the Hardhats to execute that brilliantly. And it all started with Zach Sumption, the infield single. The leadoff man got on, and he came around to score. So now we have men on first and second, and Carter Deming comes up with 2 outs here in the top of the third. All tied at 2. And the first pitch is high and inside, ball 1. The Hardhats second baseman is 0 for 1. He struck out, the third of 3 strikeouts issued by Travis Onisto in his start. Men on first and second for Deming. 2 outs top of the third. We're all tied. And the 1-0. Breaking ball caught the outside part of the plate. For a strike, 1-1. Again, excellently placed. You have to admire pitchers at this level that have a great control of their off-speed pitch and their breaking pitch. That is not an easy thing to master. 1-1. And that pitch is low, and the count will go to 2 balls and a strike for Carter Deming. If he keeps the inning going, it's back to the top of the order to Connor King. 1 for 1 with an RBI single and a hit by pitch. Both times he's been on the base path, though, he's been stranded in scoring position. Men on first and second for Deming. Onisto will look around the men on first and second and deals the 2-1 to Deming. And that's a breaking ball that caught the inside part of the plate for strike 2. And now the count evens up at deuces, 2-2. If Deming is retired, 2, 3, and 4 are due up for Cheyenne Post 6. Ryan Andrin's at-bat was interrupted by Nico Vite, caught stealing to end the bottom of the second. 2-2 to Deming, swung on, and that ball is torched into left, but it's foul. And the count will hold even at 2-2. On second base is Jace Caldwell. 6 unassisted fielder's choice put him on the base path. On first with the RBI single is Ryan Schmidt. 2 outs, 2 on, and before the 2-2 is dealt, Onisto takes time. Carter Deming back into the box. Onisto will go from the stretch. Here comes the 2-2. Swung on, and that ball is hit to short. Andrin, the easy stop. He'll get the throw to first, and it's in time. And that will do it. So 6-3 retires Carter Deming, and that will end the top half of the third. But the Hardhats have struck once again. It's a run on 2 hits with no errors charged to Cheyenne on defense. And 2 men left on the base path, 1 in scoring position. We've played 2.5, and the Hardhats have drawn the game level, 2 runs on either side of the scoreboard. We'll be right back in just a few moments with the bottom half of the third. Ryan Andrin will lead off for the Sixers when we come back here on ESPN Rapid City, the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats, at 2 runs aside. And you can thank the 2-out RBI single of Ryan Schmidt for accomplishing the task. Dylan Ritchie is back on the mound for the Hardhats. This will be his 3rd inning of work in this start. Ritchie was fantastic in relief on Wednesday night in the season opener. He ended up going 4 innings, allowed a run that was earned on 4 hits. 5 strikeouts to 2 walks and a hit by pitch. An ERA of 1.75 to start off this season. He'll take on Ryan Andrin again. His at-bat was interrupted with Nico Vite caught stealing second base to end the bottom half of the second. He had a 1-0 count, so he starts off with a quick refresh. And his first pitch is fouled, first base side, and it is just over the fence. Jace Caldwell, the first baseman, gave as much as he could, but the ball just sailed over. So unfortunate to see all that hard work and sprinting to the foul warning track go to waste. No balls and a strike to count here to Andrin. Andrin followed by A.J. Prince and by Max Pedroza. Andrin looking for his first official at-bat as he walked in the bottom of the first. Next pitch is swung on and foul-tipped into the glove for strike 2. And he's quickly in an 0-2 hole. Andrin came around to score the first of 2 Cheyenne runs back in the bottom half of the first. Again, reached the base path with a walk and came around. 0-2 hole this time, though, and Ritchie deals. Caught him looking, strike 3 on a pitch that hit the outside corner. So that's strikeout number 4 for Ritchie in this start. And 3 innings in a row in which he started it off with a K. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats on defense. That brings up R.J. Prince. Sixers' third baseman is 0 for 1 with a fly out to center field. And first pitch from Ritchie. Misses low and away on a fastball. 1-0 the count. Very well-placed pitch by Dylan Ritchie. Good to see that his control issues have, at least for now, been solved. Ball and no strikes to count. And the pitch, called strike to R.J. Prince, and the count evens up at 1-1. Prince, the third baseman, has no one on the base path and 1 out here in the bottom of the third. We are level at 2 runs aside. 1-0 the count to Assumption. Run for the Hardhats in his second. That was back in the top of the third. Ball and no strikes his count. Men on first and second. 1 out, top of the fourth. We're tied at 2. Hardhats looking for their first lead of the ballgame. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. That breaking ball again. And the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Assumption clearly looking for fastball there because he started swinging before the ball was even released. 1-1 the count. Odisto checks Bowman at second and deals the 1-1. Bowman goes for third. Both runners go. They call a strike, and the throw will not come from Pedroza. Everybody's going to advance. A ball and 2 strikes now to Assumption, and he has 2 men in scoring position. Some gutsy running from Hardhats base runners. Bowman took off for third, and the second the catcher Pedroza was going to make a motion to third, that's when Hegre from first took second. 1-2 the count here to Assumption. A base hit will surely knock in 1, maybe 2. And the 1-2 misses outside, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Assumption with 2 men on base in scoring position at second and third. Bowman the most immediate threat, 90 feet from home. 1 out here in the top of the fourth. We're tied at 2. A base hit gives the Hardhats the lead. 2-2 pitch. Misses low and away, and the count goes full. And I should also add that a sacrifice fly could also knock in a run, depending on how deep it's hit and where it's hit. So a number of options here for Assumption. And now he has a payoff pitch. Odisto From the stretch, payoff pitch. Swung on, and it's chopped foul, third base side, and Sumption stays alive. Any solid contact out of the infield, and the Hardhats will have the lead. They're tied at 2 right now with an opportunity to knock in 2 base runners from second and third. Sumption in the cleanup role, so you have to be confident in his ability to hit. Payoff pitch number 2. Swung on, and that ball is ripped to short. Andren gets the stop, and his throw to first is in time, and Ballman will score in the ensuing sequence. So it's an RBI 6-3 ground out for Zach Sumption. And the Hardhats now have their first lead of the ball game with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. It's 3-2. Moving to third also in the sequence was Matt Hegre. So Alex Weaver now with 2 outs has a man 90 feet to his left. And it's a 3-2 Hardhats lead. Travis Anisto, his first pitch to Weaver, is outside on the breaking ball, 1-0. Alex Weaver's 0 for 2. Flew out to center with 2 men in scoring position to end a threat in the top of the first. No one came around to score in that inning for post 22. And then he grounded out 5-3 in the third. The first out of the top half of the third inning. So credit the Hardhats, they've scored in 3 consecutive innings. And 3-2 is now their lead. Here comes the 1-0. And fastball catches the outside for a strike. And it's 1-1. Jack Sorensen, the DH, is on deck in case Weaver perpetuates the inning. If Weaver does so by a hit or by an error, that means the Hardhats will have a 4-2 lead. The runner from third would surely advance. Here comes the 1-1. Swung on, and that ball is fouled, first base side and out of play. And now 1-2 is the count to Weaver. If Weaver is retired, then 5, 6, and 7 are due up for the Sixers in the bottom half of this 4th inning. If not, as I mentioned, Jack Sorensen, the DH, patiently awaits in the on-deck circle. Here comes the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3 on the breaking ball inside, and that'll do it. That is strikeout number 5 for Travis Anisto, and it will end another threat. But the Hardhats do some more damage, and they have their first lead of the ball game. It is 1 run on the power of 0 hits, 2 errors charged to Cheyenne on defense, and 1 man left on the base path 90 feet from scoring. And at the end of 3.5, we have officially played half of Game 1 of this doubleheader, and the Hardhats have a 3-2 lead. We'll take a quick breather and be back with the top of the 4th and the 5-hole batter. Left-handed hitting Cody Brooks, barring a substitution for Cheyenne, here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City, and on Hardhats-TV. Well, the morning/afternoon of Dylan Ritchie has come to an end. My goodness, what a performance he put in the 3 innings that he started. He allowed 2 runs on 2 hits. Ritchie struck out 4 in the start and also walked 3. So not bad for Ritchie, who also ended up going 56 pitches in the start. He now gives way to Branson Keel, who is making his Hardhats debut on the mound today. A lot of upside for Branson Keel. I've been told if he develops properly, sticks with the system that is working for him, and utilizes his young budding talent, he will turn into quite the fireballer one of these days. Branson Keel throwing about mid-80s. Again, making his Hardhats debut today. And the coaching staff, as they told me earlier, pitching coach Ryan Clapperich, assistant coach Paul Poole, and head coach Kelvin Torvey, they told me that the story of today will be young pitching. Very young pitching, but my goodness, promising young pitching. Branson Keel, a right-handed pitcher. He will take on Cody Brooks, the left-handed hitting first baseman who has not been substituted in this game. And he will also take on Matthew Semler and Sam McIntosh. Those three gentlemen in that order due up here in the bottom of the fourth for Cheyenne. We've officially played half the ball game, so at halftime, if you will, it is 3-2. The Hardhats have the lead. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Hardhats. And for Cheyenne, post 6, 2 runs, 2 hits, 3 errors on defense. Branson Keel, full windup, takes his first pitch, and it's high and away to the left-handed hitting Cody Brooks for ball 1. Cody Brooks, 1 for 1, an RBI single back in the bottom of the first to get things started for the Sixers. Full windup for Keel. Here comes the 1-0. And that misses low and away. Another fastball, 2-0. Hardhats have scored in 3 consecutive innings. They have held Cheyenne off the board for 2. 2-0 pitch. Misses low. 3 balls, no strikes on the low fastball. I do not think that bat is going to leave the shoulder of Brooks on this next pitch. 3 balls, no strikes. Full windup for Keel, and the 3-0. That is inside. Buzz the tower. And that'll be ball 4. So a leadoff 4-pitch walk for Cody Brooks. The tying run is on for Cheyenne, and that'll bring up Matthew Semler, the right fielder. Not the way that Branson, every base occupied. Keel looking to avoid that. 3-0 is high and away, ball 4. So another 4-pitch walk. That's the 3rd one this inning issued by Keel. This one, unfortunately, comes with 2 outs, and now every base is occupied. And that's going to bring up the leadoff hitter, Nico Vite. And now coming out to chat is Ryan Clapprich, the pitching coach. Trying to walk Branson through what's going through his mind and what to expect with the leadoff hitter. Nico Vite is 0 for 1. He struck out and he walked. And then he was caught stealing 2-6. So this is a big moment here for the Hardhats. They have a 3-2 lead, but in the blink of an eye, that can either evaporate or still be the case in this ballgame. First pitch from Keel to Vite. Missed low and inside, ball 1. Nice fastball, though, from Keel. He showed some good velocity early here. As we mentioned, the coaching staff said he can throw about mid to high 80s. And for a 15-year-old, that's pretty good. Here comes the 1-0. Swung on and missed. A high fastball. And the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Keel already with his first career strikeout as a Hardhat under his belt. However, he does have 3 walks on the other side of the spectrum coming in this inning. He's trying to get out unscathed. His team up by 1, and the bases are loaded. 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. 1-1 to Vite is fouled to the back fence behind home plate. Branson Keel is 1 strike away from avoiding absolute chaos for the Hardhats. One ball, 2 strikes to Vite, the leadoff hitter in the order for the Sixers. Keel will go from the stretch. 1-2 pitch. Missed high and inside. 2-2. If Vite keeps the inning going, that means that at the minimum, the Sixers will have tied this game up. And Ryan Andren, the shortstop's on deck. If not, the Hardhats will see Jack Sorensen lead off 6, 7, and 8 due up in the top of the 5th. 2-2 from Keel. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and that's going to do it. 2 colossal strikeouts from Branson Keel in this bottom half of the 4th. And the Hardhats' lead is still intact at 3-2. In the inning, no runs were scored on no hits with no errors charged to the Hardhats. The bases left loaded, and at the end of 4, Hardhats still maintain their 3-2 lead. We'll take a quick recess, and we'll come back with the top half of the 5th. Jack Sorensen to lead off 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Hardhats here on ESPN Rapid City, official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats baseball, and streamed live on the internet on Hardhats-TV. In Wyoming, Post 22 Hardhats and the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers. engaging in a doubleheader. This is game 1. And the Hardhats, after 4 innings of play, have a 3-2 lead. Numbers across the board for Post 22. It's 3 runs on 4 hits with no errors on defense. And on the other side of things for the Sixers, 2 runs, 2 hits, and 3 errors in the field, tying away for ball 1. Sorensen in the ballgame 0 for 1 with a fly out to right and a walk. Here's the 1-0. Breaking pitch swung on, hit high in the air to right field. Trying to track it is Matt Semler. He's on the run, and he makes the catch. My goodness, what a play by Semler. He had a ton of ground he needed to cover. Looked like the wind may have picked up that ball a tad bit because he started on one course and then immediately had to change direction and get on his horse. So Semler with a great play, F9 in the book. That will retire Jack Sorensen. 1 up, 1 down, and Jace Caldwell now comes to the batter's box. Here comes the pitch, and that's a called strike on a breaking ball. 0-1 the count to Caldwell, the first baseman for the Hardhats. 0 for 2. Reached on a fielder's choice, reached on an error, and came around to score on the error. 0-1 pitch. Now is 0-2. Another breaking pitch that Caldwell deferred on. No balls, 2 strikes the count from Travis Onisto. He just threw a 75th pitch. And the 1-2 pitch is outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ball and 2 strikes now the count. No 1 on, 1 out, top of the 5th. And the 1-2 is fought off foul. Hardhats were hitting the deck there. It went over the dugout. Still 1-2 here for Caldwell. Hardhats with a 3-2 lead through 4+ innings of play here. And the 1-2 to Caldwell is inside. And the count evens up at 2-2 for the Hardhats first baseman. Two and two now the count. Base path is empty here for Caldwell. And the 2-2. Swung on, and that ball is hit to shallow right. Coming in from second to try and make the play, and unable to, is Nico Vite. The ball drops over his head. It's a bloop single into right. So Jace Caldwell gets his first hit of the ball game with 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Hardhats have a man on the base path, and that'll bring up Ryan Schmidt, responsible for tying this ball game up with an RBI single with 2 outs in the top of the 3rd. Schmidt's 1 for 1. He was also hit by a pitch on top of earning that single. Onisto to throw his 80th pitch of this start. Checks the runner at first, and the first pitch is outside on the breaking ball, 1-0. Jace Caldwell on first with that single. Blooped a 2-2 pitch in a right. Over the head of Vite, the second baseman, who I think had the better play on it just because he was closer. No balls and a strike the count. Onisto a double take to first, and the 0-1. Breaking ball swung on, hit high in the air to center, and underneath it is Storm Nelson. He makes the catch. F8 in the book, 2 down for the Hardhats on offense. Still that man on first. That'll bring us to Carter Deming in the 9th spot. Second baseman for Post 22. Deming in the ball game is 0 for 2. Third strikeout of the game of 5 issued by Onisto. Also grounded out to short with a man in scoring position to end the top of the 3rd. He has a man on first and 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. His team's up 3-2. He shows bunt and then pulled back. The ball skipped away. But staying on first was Caldwell, 1-0. Deming can hit for a bunt. He did it a couple of times last season. He has a great set of wheels and he can drop the bunt. Don't know if he'll show it again, though. We'll see. Onisto, a double take to second. Here comes the 1-0. Deming doesn't show bunt. The ball skips away from the catcher, Pedroza, and taking advantage of second is Jace Caldwell. So a pass ball will put him to second in scoring position with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. And Deming has a 2-0 count. If Deming is retired, 2, 3, and 4 are due up for Cheyenne. That will start off with Ryan Andrew in the shortstop in the bottom of the 5th. If not, we're back to the top of the Hard Hats order. 2-0 buzzes the tower high and inside. 3-0 now to Deming. Onisto about to throw his 85th pitch of this start. Pitch away from a free pass to Deming. And the 3-0. Called strike right at the belt of Deming inside. 3-1. He will have to see another pitch. Three balls and a strike to count to the Hard Hats second baseman. Man on second with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. 3-2 Hard Hats lead. Onisto deals. And that's a breaking ball that caught the outside part of the plate for strike 2. So credit Onisto on the mound. Deming was way ahead at 3 balls and no strikes, and he has since battled back to a full count. A double take to second for Onisto. Payoff pitch to Deming. Misses low and away for ball 4. So Deming draws the 2-out walk. And that will bring us back to the top of the order. Connor King, the center fielder, with men on first and second. And now 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. And it looks like we will have a conference on the mound, at least with the coach and with Travis Onisto. Mark Benetti alongside you in the broadcast booth here from Powers Field in Cheyenne, Wyoming. It is a beautiful Saturday afternoon here on Cinco de Mayo. 67 degrees, sun's out, couple clouds are out, decent breeze going from left field to right field. Beautiful day for baseball, though. The Hard Hats started off down again, but have battled back once more to take a lead. And now we go back to the top of the order here in the top of the 5th to Connor King. Men on first and second, 2 outs. His Hard Hats club is up 3-2 over the Sixers. First pitch to King, called strike, a breaking ball outside corner. You know, despite having thrown upwards of almost 90 pitches, Travis Onisto's location on his breaking ball is unbelievable. I know I've beaten that topic like a dead horse, but you got to give him credit where it's due. He's got a fantastic breaking pitch. 0-1. Fastball called strike on the outside corner. 0-2. So he's a pitch away from ending the top half of the 5th. That would bring up Ryan Andren, R.J. Prince, and Max Pedroza for Cheyenne in the bottom half of this inning. Connor King trying to keep it going with Cooper Bowman patiently waiting on deck. Onisto will look to first and second. And now time's called before he can get in his motion. No balls and 2 strikes to count here to the Hard Hat center fielder. The only left-handed batter in the lineup as of right now. 2 outs, men on first and second, top of the 5th. And the pitch is low and away. King tracked it very well, I might add. And he held back. 1-2 now the count. On first is Deming, drew a 2-out walk. On second is Jace Coldwell. He singled, and then a pass ball allowed him to take advantage of the open base. 1-2 the count to King. Onisto trying to end the inning. And the 1-2 missed outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Onisto has still one more pitch to play with at least. And he tried to get King to fish on the outside fastball. It didn't work. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Onisto will look around the field. And time's called just before he started his motion. Now the Hard Hats gave the Sixers a tad bit of their own medicine because that happened earlier. But my point still stands. I think that something's got to be done about that. So it's still 2-2. As King steps back into the box, Onisto will come from the stretch. He's set. And here's the 2-2. That's high. And the count goes full. So now King battles back to a full count. And if he's walked, Cooper Bowman is up with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Big payoff pitch coming up. Does the inning keep going, or do the Sixers transition offense? Onisto a double take to second. Payoff pitch to King. And that's low for ball 4. So Connor King is dealt another 2-out walk. That loads the bases with Caldwell on third, Carter Deming on second, and King on first. And I believe that might be the end of Travis Onisto's afternoon. And it looks like that is the case. And if I heard my broadcast counterpart correctly, Trey Trimble is now tasked with coming out on the mound for the Sixers. A very high-quality start, though, for Onisto, who gave up 3 runs on 5 hits in 4 2/3 innings of work and allowed just those 3 runs to come around with 5 strikeouts under his belt. We're going to take a quick breather, folks. When we come back, we'll recap in full Travis Onisto's morning/afternoon and bring up Cooper Bowman's at-bat with the bases loaded. We'll be right back on ESPN, Rapid City, and Hardhats-TV. Well, as I mentioned moments ago, prior to the quick recess, Travis Onisto's afternoon has come to an end. 4 2/3 innings of work this morning/afternoon with 3 runs allowed on 5 hits, 5 strikeouts to 4 walks, and a hit batsman. 2 hit batsmen, I should say. That will give way to Trey Trimble, the right-handed pitcher. Onisto finished with 93 pitches in his 4 2/3 innings of work. So he definitely earned his keep in this start today. However, he is responsible for all 3 runners on the base path. And probably the most volatile hitter on this Hardhats roster, Cooper Bowman's now up with every base occupied and only 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Numbers across the board through 4+ innings of play for the Hardhats. It's 3 runs on 5 hits with no errors on defense. For the post-6 Sixers, 2 runs on 2 hits with 3 errors. 2 of those were charged to first baseman Cody Brooks back in the top of the 4th where the Hardhats tied the ballgame up. So now Trey Trimble comes onto the mound, the right-handed pitcher. Trey Trimble's first opponent, Cooper Bowman. Senior committed to the University of Hawaii to play his college baseball next year. And boy, does he have quite the opportunity to blow this game open if he makes solid contact. On first, Connor King. On second, Carter Deming. On third, Jace Caldwell. In the batter's box, Cooper Bowman. And the first pitch from Trey Trimble is high for ball 1. Cooper Bowman in the ball game is 1 for 2. He has doubled, he's been intentionally walked, and he reached on an error and came around to score on the error. Ball and no strikes the count to the Hardhat shortstop. And the 1-0, fastball misses low and away. 2-0 now the count. If Bowman keeps the inning going, that means that the Hardhats at minimum will have at least scored 1 run, and Matt Heggery would then be up. Right now, it's 2-0 for Bowman. Bases loaded, 2 outs, top of the 5th. 3-2 Hardhats lead. Trimble's 2-0 pitch is swung on and fouled high in the air, and I believe it's going out of play. And it is. And the count goes to 2-1 for the Hardhats shortstop. Everybody takes their lead. Trey Trimble in relief will throw his fourth pitch. 2-1 to Bowman. Swung on, the ball's hit right up the middle, and it goes to Andren. Can he get the tag at second? No, he can't. He tried to flip it off, and now coming home from third is Carter Deming. And the Hardhats have scored 2 runs on this sequence. So Cooper Bowman with the infield single. It was stopped by Andren, the shortstop. He tried to flip it to second, and beating out that throw was Connor King. Coming around to score was Jace Caldwell, and then Carter Deming took advantage of the confusion, and he scored. A 2-run RBI infield single for Cooper Bowman with 2 outs, and the Hardhats lead is now 5-2. And now here comes Matt Hegry, and his first pitch is a swing and a miss. Strike 1. So an RBI single there for Cooper Bowman. Infield single, I should say. Hegry still looking for his first hit of the ballgame. Here comes the 0-1. And that's a fastball called strike. Outside corner, 0-2 now to the Hardhats third baseman. Struck out in the top of the first, flew out to center to end a scoring threat with the bases loaded in the top of the second, reached on an error in the top of the fourth. 0-2 from Trimble. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and that'll do it. Trimble gets his first strikeout in relief, and that will end the top half of the fifth. The Hardhats do some damage, though. 2 runs on the power of 2 hits. No errors charged to Cheyenne. 2 men left on the base path, 1 in scoring position. We have played 4.5, and the Hardhats now have a 5-2 lead over the Sixers as they transition from defense to offense. Ryan Andren will lead off the Sixers in the bottom half of the fifth. We'll take a quick recess and be right back here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. We've played 4.5 innings, and the Hardhats now have a 5-2 lead thanks to a 2-out RBI single by Cooper Bowman that knocked in 1 run. And in the ensuing confusion of that sequence of events, another run came around to score. So Jace Caldwell was originally knocked in, and then Carter Deming had advanced to third. Ryan Andren made one heck of a play from short to second to try and get the runner out at second to end the inning. The throw wasn't there in time. And in that ensuing confusion, Carter Deming came home to score, and the throw was off track from home, so he would have been in there safely. Through 4.5 innings, numbers across the board for the Hardhats. It's 5 runs on 6 hits with no errors to their credit. And on the other side of the board for the Sixers, it's 2 runs on 2 hits with 3 errors. Mark Benetti alongside you in the broadcast booth from Powers Field here in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Post 22 Hardhats taking on the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers in game 1 of 2 in this doubleheader to be played today. Ryan Andren, R.J. Prince, Max Pedroza due up. That is 2, 3, and 4 in the Cheyenne order here in the bottom of the 5th. Cheyenne facing their largest and only deficit of the ballgame. And first pitch from Branson Keel, reprising his role in relief on the mound, is inside for ball 1. Branson Keel walked 3 in the first inning of relief that he had, but he battled back with 2 strikeouts to end a bases-loaded threat. Here comes the 1-0. Fastball again inside, 2 balls, no strikes to Andren. Andren's 0 for 1 in the ball game. He walked and came around to score the first of 2 Cheyenne runs. That was back in the bottom of the first. He struck out looking for the 4th of 4 Dylan Ritchie strikeouts in the bottom of the 3rd. Full windup for Keel. Here's the 2-0. That is over his head. 3 balls, no strikes. Couple of control issues for Keel right off the hop. But again, he was dialed in. The 2 strikeouts that he did have against Storm Nelson and Nico Vite with the bases loaded, he was dialed in, but having some control problems this at bat. Full windup again for Keel. 3-0 to Andren. Inside, buzz the tower, ball 4. So that's the 4th walk issued by Keel in relief. And it looks like we might be getting some action in the Hardhats bullpen. I think that's Jake Goebel's license plate I saw. So for Branson Keel, he has walked 4, and 3 of them have come on 4 pitches. So that's something to clean up for him as this outing continues. RJ Prince is now up looking for his first hit of the ballgame. Man on first and no one out, and his first pitch is low for ball 1. Prince flew out to center field and left field respectively in the bottom of the first and third. Man on first with no one out here in the bottom of the 5th. Cheyenne at bat, they trail by 3. Keel from the stretch. 1-0. Fastball, strike right down the middle, and it's 1-1. Keel takes a look at first and now gets into his set motion. From the stretch, 1-1. Inside. 2-1. Two balls and a strike now the count from Keel to Prince. And here comes the 2-1. Swung on. Ball's popped up. It looks like it's coming to second base. Underneath it's Carter Deming. And he makes the catch. That'll be a pop 4 in the book. 1 on, 1 down. And that'll bring up Max Pedroza. Pedroza in the ballgame 1 for 2. He singled in the bottom of the first, came around to score the second of both of Cheyenne's runs. And then after that, he was in a 4-3 ground out to end a 1-2-3 bottom of the third. First pitch. Called strike on a fastball. Ball got away from Schmidt, but not taking advantage of second was Andren. He didn't recognize that the ball had skipped away, but he stayed put. No balls and a strike the count from Keel to Pedroza. Pedroza the backstopper for the Sixers. Andren takes his lead off of first with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Only runner on the base path. 0-1, swung on, ripped to second. Deming the catch. Throw to first is in time. An L4-3 double play, and that will end the bottom half of the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on the base path. And at the end of 5 full frames, the Hardhats' 5-2 lead is intact. Their first double play of this regular season. We'll take a quick breather and be right back with the top of the 6th and Zach Sumption to lead us off here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Five innings have now been played here at Powers Field. And Carter Deming and Jace Caldwell just ended that 5th inning with the first double play of the season for Post 22. L4-3 in the book. And the Hardhats' 5-2 lead is still intact through 5 of these 7 innings we're about to play. Stats across the board for the Hardhats heading into the top of the 6th. It's 5 runs on 6 hits with no errors. And on the other side for the Sixers, it's 2 runs on 2 hits with 3 errors in the field. Mark Benetti alongside you in the broadcast booth here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. 105.7 FM, 1340 AM on your radios. Back in the Black Hills. Zach Sumption, Alex Weaver, Jack Sorensen. The heart of the order due up for the Hardhats. Zach Sumption is 1 for 3 in this ball game and is responsible for giving the Hardhats the lead on his RBI groundout back in the top of the 4th. Since being held off the board in the top of the 1st, the Hardhats have scored in every inning since. 1 run in the 2nd, 1 run in the 3rd, 1 run in the 4th, and 2 in the 5th. Trey Trimble still on the mound for Cheyenne in relief. His first pitch to Sumption misses high for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes the count to the Hardhats right fielder. Trimble, the right-handed relief pitcher, came in for Travis Onisto, and the next pitch to Sumption swung on, hit to second. Diving stop made by Vitae. Throw to first, gets away from the first baseman in Cody Brooks, and taking advantage of second is Zach Sumption. So that'll be an E4, I believe, on the throw because it pulled the first baseman off the bag. So that is the 4th error of the ball game for Cheyenne. And it's a 2-base error at that. So the leadoff man starts off in scoring position for the Hardhats. And that will bring up Alex Weaver, the left fielder. Man on second and 1 out here in the top half of the 6th. Showing bunt is Weaver. The right side of the infield crashes in. Weaver drops it down the third base line. He is in hot pursuit of first, and the throw is there in time. So a 5-4 sacrifice as second came over to cover first. So that will advance Zach Sumption to third. 1 out, and that brings up Jack Sorensen, the DH. Sorensen still looking for his first hit of the ball game, 0 for 2 with a walk. And the pitch swung on and fouled first base side. 0-1. Four errors for Cheyenne in this ball game, and this 4th one has allowed a runner to eventually advance all the way to third. Trey Trimble, now in relief, has the task of holding that runner there. 0-1, swung on, and that ball is ripped into left center field. Storm Nelson from center makes the catch, and as he falls down, very well. So now the base path is empty for Jace Caldwell, the first baseman. And his first pitch from Trimble is inside. It caught the corner of the plate. 0-1. Caldwell in the ball game is 1 for 3. Reached on an error and scored. Reached on a fielder's choice. Stranded in scoring position. Singled and scored. 0-1 from Trimble. Fastball caught the outside part of the plate. Belt level. 0-2 now to Caldwell. And Trimble's a pitch away from getting out of the inning with only allowing the 1 run. It is unearned, though, because the runner reached on an error. And the 0-2 now to Caldwell. Misses low and inside. 1-2. If Caldwell is the final Hardhats batter, then the left-handed hitting Cody Brooks will lead off the bottom of the 6th for Cheyenne. Trimble steps off the rubber. He'll take some time to think about this. Full windup for Trimble, and here comes the 1-2. That misses low and inside, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes to count to the Hardhats first baseman. Base path empty, 2 outs. Here in the top of the 6th. Then the next pitch misses low and inside on another breaking pitch, and the count goes full. Payoff pitch coming up. And it's low for ball 4. So Jace Caldwell was in an 0-2 hole and battled back for a 2-out walk. He is on the base path, and that'll bring up Ryan Schmidt, the Hardhats backstopper. Schmidt is 1 for 2. He's been hit by a pitch, knocked in a run with an RBI single, and he flew out to center field the last time he was up. He has a man on first and 2 outs to work with here in the top of the 6th. First pitch, low and away, and the ball skips away from Pedroza, the catcher, and advancing to second is Caldwell. And the pass ball will allow Caldwell to move ahead to scoring position. Ryan Schmidt with a 1-0 count. Now as a man he could potentially knock in for a 7th hard hat run. The lead right now is at 6-2. The Hard Hats have scored in 5 consecutive innings after being held off the board in the top of the first. 1-1-1, 2-1, respectively, from innings 2 to now. Next pitch is swung on, blue tie in the air, into right. It's in foul territory, and it drops. And Ryan Schmidt got away with one there. He just kind of threw his hands at it, and it hung for a long, long time. And 3 gentlemen tried to converge on it defensively for the Sixers, but it was just out of their grasp. So another chance here for Schmidt. Ball and a strike his count. Right across from him is Jace Caldwell. Trey Trimble in relief, about to throw his 21st pitch. He threw 7 in his first in relief. This is his first full inning. 1-1 pitch, fouled. That goes first base side out of play, and the count goes to 1-2 for the Hard Hats catcher. If Schmidt keeps this going, we'll go to Carter Deming, the second baseman. If not, Cody Brooks, the left-handed hitting first baseman, leads off for the Sixers in the bottom of the 6th. Ball and 2 strikes to count to Schmidt. Trimble a look to second, deals from the stretch. Swung on, the ball is chopped to third, and it gets by the third baseman, and it's stopped in left field by Jackson Hesford. Only advancing to third is Jace Caldwell. The 2-out single credited to Ryan Schmidt. And now Carter Deming comes up. He's looking for his first hit of the ballgame. 0 for 2 with a walk. He struck out in his first at-bat, the 3rd of 5 dealt by Travis Onisto. And then he grounded out to short to end the inning with a man in scoring position. Walked the last time he was up and came around to score. So men on the corners here for Deming. And the catcher, Pedroza, has a signal for his infield and his defensive alignment with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Longest inning by far for the Hard Hats, at least on offense. 6-2 is now their lead, and they have a chance to knock in another one, with Caldwell 90 feet to the left of Deming. First pitch from Trimble is a called strike, fastball inside. 0-1 the count here to the Hard Hats second baseman. And if he keeps it going, then Connor King is up back at the top of the order for the Hard Hats. And check to first, not there in time, so we have yet to see the 0-1 dealt to Carter Deming. Don't forget, shortly following the completion of this game, I'd give it about 20 minutes to a half hour, both teams will engage in a rematch and conclude this doubleheader. Here comes the 0-1. Swung on, and the ball is chopped to third. Stop is made on the play by Prince. Throw to seconds in time to get the force, and that'll do it. So the Hard Hats, for a 5th consecutive inning, have struck on the board. It is 1 run on 1 hit. 1 error was charged to the Sixers on defense, and there were 2 men left on base. And at the end of 5.5 innings, the Hard Hats lead is now 6-2 over the Sixers. We'll be right back in just a few moments with the bottom half of the 6th here on ESPN Rapid City and on the internet at Hardhats-TV. Well, the afternoon of relief has come to an end for Branson Keel, who threw 34 pitches, taking over for Dylan Ritchie. And he went a perfect 3 innings. No hits, no runs, 2 strikeouts, 4 walks to his credit in his Hard Hats debut. And now making a second appearance is Tad Sherbinsky. Sherbinsky pitched an inning and 2/3 on Wednesday night in the season opener. And he was credited with the win in extra innings. So he's a perfect 1-0 on the year. He is looking most likely for the anchor side of things, if you will. He won't be credited with a save, I don't believe. He struck out 2. He walked 1. And he will take on the left-handed hitting Cody Brooks, Matthew Semler, and left-handed hitting Sam McIntosh, the DH, in that order. So Sherbinsky looking for just this 1 inning, get out of it, call it good. And his first pitch to the left-handed hitting Brooks is a swing and a miss, and an off-speed pitch on the outside corner. 0-1 the count here to Tad Sherbinsky, younger brother of former Post 22 Hard Hat and current Expos coach Colton Sherbinsky. Next pitch, swung on and missed, strike 2, and Brooks was frustrated with himself on that swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Sherbinsky quickly going to work, and now time's called just as Sherbinsky started his motion. But he wasn't in a vulnerable position throwing the ball, so no harm, no foul there. Full windup for Sherbinsky, 0-2 pitch. This is low and skips off the umpire, and the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 6th inning here. And it's a 6-2 Hard Hats lead. Full windup for Sherbinsky, the righty. 1-2 pitch. Swung on, balls popped high in the air to the right side of the infield. Carter Deming calls off Jace Colwell, and he makes the catch from the second base position. That's the second time in the last 2 innings Carter Deming has caught a pop-up. 1 up, 1 down for the Sixers on offense, and that will bring us to Matthew Semler, the right fielder. So Brooks will change his stat line to 1 for 2 with an RBI single. Semler has been walked twice. He's looking for his first official plate appearance. Excuse me, his first official at bat, I should say, of the ballgame. And he looks at a first pitch strike, 0-1 his count. Following Semler is the left-handed hitting Sam McIntosh, barring any substitutions. He is the designated hitter. Also looking for his first hit. 0-1, swung on, hit high in the air, foul territory, first base side, and that looks like it just goes over the fence. And the count quickly is in the favor of Tad Sherbinsky on the mound. It's 0-2. Sherbinsky looking for his 3rd strikeout of the season and his first in this contest. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Full windup for Sherbinsky, and he deals to Semler. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air to right center field. Connor King is on his horse. He's tracking it all the way to the wall, and it is gone. No, it's off the wall, and it's fielded by King. And running into third with a stand-up triple is Matthew Semler with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. So the Sixers have some life. Matthew Semler caught every piece of that ball, and I nearly lost track of it with those white signs in right center field, but Connor King was on his horse, and he fielded it right up against the fence. I thought for a second it had gone over, because King just kind of stopped running, but that was just to play the hop off the fence. So a 1-out triple torched by Semler, and that brings up Sam McIntosh, the left-handed hitting DH. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. The Hard Hats trying to preserve a 6-2 lead. First pitch gets away from Schmidt, and coming home to score is Semler. So the Cheyenne Sixers have now cut the deficit to 6-3 with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Their first run since Max Pedroza came across with 2 outs in the bottom of the 1st. Sherbinsky's 1-0. Inside, check swing, and I don't believe he went the full way, so that'll be 2 balls and no strikes. I think they would charge that a pass ball, I would think. 2-0. Swung on, ball's hit to first. Coldwell with a nice snare. He's going to take it himself and gets the 3 unassisted putout. 2 down now on offense for the Sixers. Base path's empty, and that'll bring up Storm Nelson, the center fielder. Excuse me, a pinch hitter's come in. That is Dawson McCleary. So McCleary takes over for Storm Nelson. Nelson struck out twice. I would imagine he'd take over in center field. First pitch, rides up high. 1-0 the count here to Dawson McCleary. So again, Nelson's day ends 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. 1-0 pitch from Sherbinsky. Swung on and missed. And the count evens up to a ball and a strike. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Cheyenne has struck once on 1 hit. It is now a 6-3 Hardhats lead. Next pitch, it hit him. It just clipped his arm. And so McCleary gets a free pass on the hit by pitch. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th, and that brings up Jackson Hesford, the left-handed hitting left fielder. Sherbinsky just trying to get out of this inning now. Retire Hesford and call it good. First pitch is swung on, and it is hit into left. Weaver is charging as is Bowman from short. He can't make the catch. It drops in front of both he and Weaver for a base hit. So Cheyenne has kept the inning going now. And now Nico Vite back at the top of the order will come up. So on 1 pitch, Jackson Hesford hits a 2-out single. Dawson McCleary, who got the free pass on the hit by pitch, advances to second. And this brings us back to the top of the order, Nico Vite. 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts and a walk. First pitch from Sherbinsky. Swung on, and that ball is drilled high in the air to left center field. That ball has some legs. It has the distance, and it is all the way to the wall. 1 run's going to come in and score, and that's all they'll get from it. A 2-out RBI double for Nico Vite, and Cheyenne is within 2. And it's now a 6-4 Hardhats lead. Two extra base hits in this inning for the Sixers. And now the Hardhats really need to lock this one down here as both Cooper Bowman and Ryan Schmidt come out to speak with Tad Sherbinsky for a bit. 6-4 is now the Hardhats lead. 2 runs scored in the bottom of the 1st by the Sixers, and nothing scored up until now in the bottom of the 6th by them once again. So now here comes Ryan Andren, the shortstop. 0 for 1 with 2 walks and a strikeout looker. And first pitch from Sherbinsky is low for ball 1. Sherbinsky at one point was 1 batter away from ending this. This is the 4th one he has faced since registering the 2nd out. Here comes the 1-0. Called strike at an off-speed pitch. Outside corner, and it's 1-1. Andren, the shortstop, has an opportunity to tie this ball game up with a solid base hit. Both of his runners are in scoring position on 2nd and 3rd. Good crack at the bat, and all of a sudden, this will be a 6-6 ball game. 1-1. Swung on and fouled first base side and out of play. And the count goes to 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes now, the count to Andren. And Sherbinsky is looking to end it on the next pitch. Top of the order due up in the top of the 7th for the Hardhats. That would be their last chance in regulation on offense. 1-2 the count. Sherbinsky trying to get him there. And he deals, swung on, and just check swung foul. Andren started his swinging motion and realized he had made a mistake, but at least he caught a piece of it and fouled it off. So 1-2, still the count to Andren, the Sixers shortstop. Sherbinsky takes his time, finally agrees on a sign, and it'll come from the stretch. 1-2, swung on, ball is chopped third, foul off the hand of Cheyenne's head coach. Tried to snare it. He looks to be okay. 1-2 now the count. We're in the bottom of the sixth with 2 outs, 2 men in scoring position for the Sixers. Andrew, the shortstop, looking to tie this one up. Next pitch misses low, and the count evens up 2-2. First base is unoccupied. Second is occupied by Nico Vite with the RBI double. Jackson Hesford singled, and since he has been advanced to third. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count, and Stravinsky deals. Swung on, and the ball is hit high in the air, but foul. And out of play, and the count will hold even at 2-2. Stravinsky is looking for his 3rd strikeout of the season. It would be his first in relief in this game. Stravinsky will come from the stretch. 2-2. Swung on, and that ball is ripped into right field. Sumption is just behind it. It drops in front of him for a base hit, and then he misfields it. And the Sixers have tied this one up. Andren takes to second. And that'll be a 2-run RBI single. And I believe an error charged to Zach Sumption, because the ball went right off of his glove when he tried to field it. I think that's going to be an RBI single plus the error. And so just like that, what was a dominating 6-2 lead is now all of a sudden a 6-6 tie ball game. 4 runs in this inning for the Sixers, and it keeps going with R.J. Prince up and the go-ahead run on second. And he looks at ball 1 outside. 1-0 the count. 4 runs in this inning on 4 hits. I believe an error also charged to the Hardhats. And time is called. I haven't seen the error column change, so maybe they're not going to give it. Maybe it's just a single and he'll advance on the misplay. Here comes the 1-0. That misses upstairs, 2-0. And it looks like the error was added. So it'll be a 2-run RBI single for for Ryan Andren, and then he advances on the error. 2 balls, no strikes to count. And here comes the 2-0. Swung on, ball's chopped foul, third base side. 2-1 now the count. Post 22 entered this bottom half of the 6th with a 6-2 lead. All of a sudden, we are level at 6 runs aside. 4 runs in this inning. Stravinsky from the stretch with a man on second, 2 outs. 2-1, swung on, hit right up the middle. Deming gets the stop at second, and the throw to first is in time, and that'll end it. So Deming finally gets that 3rd out, but it came at a price. 4 runs on the power of 4 hits with 1 error charged to Zach Sumption, and a man left on base in scoring position. We have played 6 innings. Credit Cheyenne. They have battled back with 4 runs in this frame. We're all tied up at 6. We'll be right back with the top of the 7th and the top of the Hardhats order in just a few moments here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. All of a sudden, folks, we have a completely different ball game on our hands, as the Sixers have come back from down 4 in the bottom of the 6th and have now tied the game heading into our 7th and final inning of regulation. As it stands, numbers through 6 innings of play for the Hardhats here in the top of the 7th. That means we'll start off with Connor King, who is 1 for 2 with an RBI single, a strikeout, a walk, and a hit by pitch. And he calls time just before Trey Trimble. And now his 3rd inning of relief comes up. Trimble came in for Travis Onisto, who went 4 2/3 innings. First pitch to King, called strike at his knees. He starts off 0-1. Cooper Bowman and Matt Heggery will round out the three gentlemen due up in this inning. Trimble takes his time, full windup. Right-handed pitcher to the left-handed King. Swung on, ball is chopped weakly to second base. Making the stop on the play is Vitae, throw to first barely in time. 4-3 in the book. 1 up, 1 down on offense for the Hardhats. That'll bring up Cooper Bowman. Hardhat shortstop steps in. Here comes the 0-1. And that skips away. Ball and a strike now to Bowman. Matt Heggery is on deck. 0 for 4, looking for his first hit of the ballgame. Cooper Bowman waits his 1-1, and here it comes. Swung on, and that ball is ripped into left field, and that's going to drop for a base hit. A no-doubter of a single from Cooper Bowman, his third hit of the ballgame. With 1 out, the go-ahead run is aboard, and that will bring up Matt Heggery, who is looking for his first hit in Game 1 of this doubleheader. Hardhat's third baseman has struck out Tice, flown out to center field, and he reached on an error back in the 4th inning, top of the 4th. We're in the top of the 7th, 1 on, 1 out for Heggery. And the first pitch is a called strike, fastball at the belt. 0-1. If Heggery does not hit into the double play, then the cleanup hitter, Zach Sumption's on deck. No balls, and a strike to count to Heggery. Bowman leads off at first, and the 0-1. Called strike, fastball outside corner. And quickly, Heggery's behind 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to count to Heggery. And the pitch misses low and away. 1-2. Sumption on deck. Bowman on first. 1 out top of the 7th. We're tied at 6. It was a 6-2 Hardhats lead 1 frame ago. And in the bottom half, Cheyenne plated 4 runs on 4 hits. Ball and 2 strikes to count. Check to first, not there in time. Bowman's back. Trey Trimble on the mound in relief. Right-handed pitcher to the right-handed Heggery. Takes his time. Now a look to first. And throw to first is not there. Bowman barely got back. And this goes back to what I mentioned at the start of today's broadcast. These Hardhat base runners have to be smart. They have to be awake. They were picked off 3 times in the home opener on Wednesday. They can't be asleep at the switch. Ball and 2 strikes to count. And Trimble deals. Swung on, and it's fought off. Foul. Rolls to the backstop. So Heggery stays alive at 1-2. If Heggery, in the most unfortunate of fashions, grounds into the double play, or hits into the double play, the Max Pedroza would lead off the bottom half of the 7th, a chance to walk off for the Sixers. If he keeps the inning going, or it's just 1 out, Zach Sumption's up. Check to first, not there in time. And Bowman's back. Trimble again looks in for the sign. And Trimble from the stretch. 1-2 to Heggery. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And that will do it for Matt Heggery. Second strikeout for Trimble. 2 down for the Hardhats on offense. And Bowman still on first. Zach Sumption comes up. Sumption is 1 for 4. He has struck out, reached on an error, hit an infield single, come around to score twice. Last time, or 2 at-bats ago, he had an RBI ground out. That gave the Hardhats their first lead of the ballgame. He looks at a called strike on the outside corner. 0-1 is count. Cooper Bowman is on first. That is the go-ahead run. Trimble from the stretch. 0-1 pitch. High. Bowman goes to second, and the throw is not there in time. And so Cooper Bowman steals to scoring position. And it's a ball and a strike now at Assumption, as the pitch was low. So 1-1 the count to Assumption. Bowman 180 feet away from giving the Hardhats the lead. Assumption now has to knock him in. Trimble will look to second at Bowman. A double take. Here comes the 1-1. Breaking ball just missed. Right at the letters, and the count is 2-1. Two balls and a strike the count. Trimble will look to second. Bowman there, the go-ahead run. And now a time call just before he started his motion. Zach Assumption is up, looking for his second hit, looking for his second RBI. There are 2 outs in the top of the 7th. We are playing 7 innings of regulation, so we might need a few more. Cooper Bowman, the go-ahead runs in scoring position. Here comes the 2-1. Swung on and missed. And Assumption now in a 2-2 count. And Trimble is a pitch away from getting out of this and setting up a walk-off opportunity for his offense. Bowman takes his lead off a second. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count Assumption. If Assumption keeps the inning going, Alex Weaver's on deck. Here comes the 2-2. Swung on and fought off foul by Assumption, and he stays alive at 2-2. Assumption with a base hit would surely score Bowman. He's got a great set of wheels. He's in a 2-2 battle right now. 2 outs in the top of the 7th, tied at 6. 2-2. Caught him looking, strike 3. And that ends the Hardhats' threat. Well, for the Hardhats, it's no runs, no hits, no errors, and the go-ahead run stranded on second base. And at the end of 6.5, Cheyenne has a chance to walk off, tied at 6, with the meat of the order coming up. We'll be right back in just a few moments on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV, with the bottom half of the 7th all square at 6. Do or die for the Hardhats here on defense, as we are in the bottom of the 7th inning, deadlocked at 6. Tad Sherbinsky is still on the mound for post 22, as he looks to keep this a tie ball game. If he doesn't, then the Hardhats will have lost on walk-off fashion, and extra innings will not be required to finish this one out. Through 6.5 innings of play, the Hardhats have 6 runs on 8 hits with 1 error on defense. And Cheyenne has 6 runs on 6 hits with 4 errors in the field. Tad Sherbinsky came in relief of Branson Keel, who came in relief of starter Dylan Ritchie. And Tad Sherbinsky will now look at 4, 5, and 6 in the Cheyenne order. Max Pedroza, the catcher, will lead off, followed by Cody Brooks, the left-handed hitting first baseman, and Matthew Semler, the right-handed hitting right fielder. Pedroza, 1 for 3 in the ball game. First pitch swung on, hit to short. Bowman's there with the scoop, and throw to first is in time. 1 pitch, 1 up, 1 down. Here in the bottom half of the 7th, still tied at 6th, and that will bring up Cody Brooks. So now Pedroza goes to 1 for 4. He had an RBI single back in the 1st. Been retired 3 in a row. A ground out to 2nd. A line out double play to 2nd to end the inning. And then the 6th degree ground out here to short. Brooks, first pitch, swung on and missed. Rather foul tipped into the glove. 0-1 the count. It's very hard to hear the bat, especially when there's no crowd mic. No balls and a strike the count here to Brooks. Sherbinsky quickly back to it. Swung on and missed that time. 0-2. Quickly Brooks is in the hole. He is 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a pop out to 2nd. Also has a walk under his belt. 0-2 from Sherbinsky. Just missed outside on the breaking ball, and the count goes to 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes. Sherbinsky looking for his first strikeout of the ballgame. And the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And he gets him on that outside pitch. His first strikeout today. 2 up, 2 down quickly. Hard Hats Baseball. And also streamed live on the internet on Hardhats-TV. So I mentioned Alex Weaver starts us off. He is 0 for 3 with a fly out to center, a ground out to 3rd, a strikeout, and a sacrifice bunt. His first pitch is ripped to 2nd. Vite makes the stop and the easy out at 1st. 1 pitch, 1 up, 1 down for the Hard Hats on offense. And now that quickly brings us to Jack Sorensen, the designated hitter. Sorensen came off of a sac fly RBI in the top of the 6th. He is 0 for 2 otherwise with a walk as well. And he looks at a first pitch fastball for a strike. 0-1 for the Hard Hats DH. We are in the top of the 8th. There is no one on the base path for the Hard Hats and 1 out. We're tied at 6, still playing baseball. Here comes the 0-1. Swung on and it's fouled, an off-speed pitch. And quickly, no balls and 2 strikes to count for Sorensen. Chase Caldwell, the first baseman, is on deck. He's had quite the afternoon. No balls, 2 strikes to count. And Trimble deals. Swung on, the ball's hit right up the middle and into center field for a base hit. So Jack Sorensen gets his first hit of the ball game, and it comes in the 8th inning. A 1-out single. The go-ahead run is on board. And that brings up Jace Caldwell, the first baseman, who, as I mentioned, has had a great afternoon for the Hard Hats. Caldwell is 1 for 3, reached on an error, singled, walked, and reached on a fielder's choice. So he's been on the base path all 4 times. Come around to score twice. His first pitch skips away to the backstop. Pedroza can't find it. And Sorensen is going to take 3rd. And Sorensen's going to get there. A 2-base miscue, as Pedroza couldn't locate where the ball skipped off his paraphernalia. And now Jack Sorensen is 90 feet away from giving the Hard Hats the lead. 1-0 the count here to Caldwell. And so now this game just got that much more interesting. Trimble on the mound. Has to try and lock it down. The infield is in now for the Sixers. Next pitch to Caldwell. A called strike at his belt. 1-1 now his count. Jack Sorensen 90 feet away from giving the Hard Hats the lead. But Caldwell has to knock him in first. 1 out. And Sorensen on 3rd. 1-1. Misses low and away. 2 balls and a strike. An unfortunate miscue there, as the ball skipped off of Pedroza, and then it rolled to the backstop, but he looked down and he couldn't find it. Caldwell ready to go. From the stretch, Trimble. 2-1. Misses low and away, and Pedroza makes a diving stop for that one. 3 balls and a strike now, the count to Caldwell. Ryan Schmidt, the Hard Hats catcher, is on deck. And he already has an RBI hit in this ball game. He's 2 for 3. 3 balls and a strike the count here to Jace Caldwell. And the 3-1. Swung on and the ball is ripped into right field. That's a base hit. Coming in to score is Sorensen. A 1-out RBI single for Jace Caldwell. And the Hard Hats now have a 7-6 lead with 1 out And a man on first here in the top of the 8th. And the big moment there was the 2-base pass ball. That has now played a major factor. 1 on, 1 out. Hardhats now with a 7-6 lead. Ryan Schmidt's up. And his first pitch misses low and away for ball 1. Schmidt, as I mentioned, 2 for 3 with an RBI single. Then just a normal single after that. In between his hits, a fly out to center, and he was also hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning. So he's been on base 3 out of 4 times. 1-0. Called strike right at his belt. And the count evens up to 1-1. Only 2 pitchers used by Cheyenne in this game. Travis Onisto, the lefty, started us off, went 4 2/3. It's been Trey Trimble ever since. He just threw his 51st pitch. Ball and a strike the count here to Ryan Schmidt, the Hardhats backstopper. Man on, 1 out, top of the 8th, and the next pitch misses low and away. 2-1. Carter Deming, the Hardhats second baseman, on deck. Should Schmidt not hit into the double play to end it. Two balls and a strike the count to the Hardhat catcher. And Trimble deals. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air to the middle part of the infield, right next to the mound. Coming in from first to make the catch is Cody Brooks. So big second out there for the Sixers. 2 down. Hardhats still have a man on first. Carter Deming will get one last crack at it. If Deming is retired, 7, 8, and 9 are due up for the Sixers. 4, 5, and 6 went down 1, 2, 3 in the 7th. A lot of numbers thrown out there. First pitch to Deming. He shows bunt, pulled it back. It's a called strike anyway. 0-1 the count here to the Hardhat second baseman. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout, a ground out to short, a fielder's choice, and a walk. Deming twice has ended an inning. He's hoping to avoid a three-peat. 0-1 to Sam McIntosh. And Sherbinsky is 1 pitch away from putting the tying run on the base path. And full windup for Sherbinsky. And that's a called strike on the inside part of the plate right at the knees. 3-1. And the 3-1 from Sherbinsky. Swung on, ball is ripped foul down the first baseline. And now the count goes full. So Sherbinsky battled back from way behind at 3-0 to now a payoff pitch, looking for a punch out. Full windup, payoff pitch. Swung on, and the ball is chopped to short. Bowman gets the stop. Throw to first in time. 6-3 in the scorebook. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats on defense. 2 away from the win. And that brings up Dawson McCleary. Excuse me, now number 2, Guy Lowe comes in. And he is hitting for Dawson McCleary, who came in for Storm Nelson. First pitch to Guy Lowe is outside. He is a right-handed batter. 1-0 his count. The base path's empty for him with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Hardhats looking to hang on for the extra inning win. Next pitch is swung on, and it's ripped into left field, and it drops in front of Alex Weaver for a base hit. So the tying run is aboard with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th as Guy Lowe, pinch hitting, is on base. That brings up Jackson Hesford. So Hesford has a man on first to work with. Hesford represents the winning run. Should he homer or somehow get around himself? First pitch, misses high. Man on a strike, unless he grounds into the double play. Check to first, not there in time. Tad bit of a low throw from Sherbinsky. He will want to watch that trajectory in further checkdowns. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Hardhats looking to hang on for the win. 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1. Hesford did not try to chase. Sherbinsky about to throw his 47th pitch in relief. Here comes the 2-1. Swung on. Ball's popped up. High in the air to Carter Deming at second. He crashes in towards the mound, and Deming makes the catch. Pop 4 in the book. 2 down. The Hardhats 1 win away from stealing game 1 of the doubleheader. And that will bring us back to the top of the order to Nico Vite, the second baseman. Vite 1 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts, a walk, and an RBI double. And now Sherbinski looking to lock it down. First pitch, skips, but Schmidt comes up with a huge block, 1-0. All hands on deck for everyone here. Schmidt looking to block everything that comes towards his plate. 1 ball, no strikes to count. From Tad Sherbinski to Nico Vite. And the 1-0 just missed. And it's now 2 balls, no strikes. If Vito keeps the inning going, Ryan Andren, the shortstop's on deck. He's responsible for tying this game up. Here comes the 2-0. Called strike, fastball outside corner, and it's 2-1. Vite has the tying run on first. That is Guy Lowe, who got a pinch hit, 1-out single in the earlier stage of the inning. Vite himself represents the winning run in this bottom of the 8th. 2 outs. Next pitch, swung on. Ball is hit high in the air to left center field. Connor King tracking to his right underneath it. He makes the catch, and that's going to do it. The Hardhats hold off a furious Sixers rally, and they take the win in Game 1 of this doubleheader. Final score after 8 innings of play is the Hardhats 7 and the Sixers 6. That final inning, there were no runs on a hit with no errors and 1 man left on first. And the Hardhats are 2-0. They take the win over the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers. We'll step aside for a brief moment, folks, and be right back to recap this game and set you up for Game 2 of the doubleheader in just a few moments here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Well, the Hardhats come out with the win in this one. They had at one point a 6-2 lead over the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers. Cheyenne had a furious rally in the bottom of the 6th to tie the game up with 4 runs scored in the frame. 1 extra inning of play was required. The Hardhats got the run, and the complexion of the ball game changed within the span of 4 batters. And the unfortunate point for Sherbinski was he had 2 outs. All he needed to do was retire Dawson McCleary, who came in to pinch hit, and he hit him instead on a 1-1 count. So there still could have been a count that developed in a number of ways, and instead he gave him a free pass, kept the inning going, and the Sixers rode that momentum. And it was next man up mentality, and the next man up would get the job done. So then we go to the 7th. The Hardhats couldn't get anything going in the 7th. They had the go-ahead run on second, and then back-to-back strikeouts ended the inning. Bottom of the 7th, Sherbinski and company locked it down. A 1-2-3 inning, including back-to-back strikeouts for Sherbinski himself. And then we go to the 8th inning, and the Hardhats are able to get a man on base. It was Jack Sorensen, and then a crucial passed ball as a pitch skipped away from Max Pedroza, and he had trouble locating it towards the backstop. That was a 2-base mishap that allowed Jack Sorensen to come to third. Jace Caldwell follows up with an RBI single. That gave the Hardhats the 7-6 lead they needed. At that point, it was shutdown mentality. The Hardhats needed to get out of the inning and regroup and get ready for game number 2 of this doubleheader. After Sherbinsky retired McIntosh on a 6-3 groundout, Guy Lowe came in to pinch hit, and he singled. So the tying run was aboard. Twice the winning run was at the plate, and twice that winning one was retired when Jackson Hesford popped out to Carter Deming at second, and Nico Vite flew out to left center field to Connor King to end it. So the final score comes out to 7-6. The Hardhats go to 2-0 in the standings, and the Sixers will fall to 7-2. Their 6-game winning streak was halted. Stats across the board for the Hardhats. It was 7 runs on 9 hits with an error on the field. And on the other side of things for the Sixers, it was 6 runs on 7 hits with 4 errors on defense, including 2 in the 4th inning committed at first base. And that really helped give the Hardhats some momentum to build the big lead that they did have. Well, thanks so much for joining us for Game 1, folks. Like I mentioned, we're going to take about a 20-minute to 30-minute recess for Game 2, but we'll give you everything that you need to know in just a few moments when we come back here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. live for a second time today. Post 22 baseball is on the air as the Post 22 Hard Hats will square off once again against the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers. This is game 2 of today's doubleheader. Welcome back inside our press box here at Powers Field in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Benetti alongside you in the broadcast booth here on ESPN Rapid City, the official radio home of Post 22 Hard Hats baseball. And for those viewers watching online, we are on Hardhats-TV, up and running, all systems green, ready to rock and roll. So the Hard Hats just came off of another extra inning win against the Cheyenne Post 6 Sixers. That's 2 games they've played this season. Both of them have required more than what has been allotted in regulation. On Wednesday, it was against Gillette Post 42. That took 12 innings after an original 9 regulation innings. And today, it only took 1 extra after the normal 7 that have been allotted. So the Hard Hats will once again square off in another 7-inning game. And it's the same deal as usual. The Hard Hats are going to bat in the top halves of our 7 innings, and Cheyenne will bat in the bottom halves of our 7 innings. Couple of changes to the Hard Hats lineup. We'll start off with them. Leading off is number 22, Cooper Bowman. His first time this season in the leadoff position. He's once again playing shortstop. Batting second is number 13, Connor King. He is patrolling center field. Batting third is number 21, Matt Hegry. He is in the hot corner at third base. And in the cleanup position is number 15, Zach Sumption. He's playing out at right field. Batting fifth is number 18, Alex Weaver. Once again patrolling left field. Batting sixth, another change to the lineup, is number 23, Jack Sorensen. This time, he's out at first base. Batting seventh, making his first appearance in the batter's box this season, is number 20, Holden Jackson. He's the designated hitter. Batting eighth is number 25, Ryan Schmidt, the catcher, and making his post-22 Hard Hats debut. Rounding out the batting order in the ninth spot is number 15 as well, Tyson Elliott. He's playing at second base. Drew Messer is the starting pitcher for the Hard Hats when we get to the bottom halves of our innings for this second game. And out on the mound for Cheyenne Post 6 is Cody Brooks. Although he hits left-handed, he is a right-handed pitcher. And so he deals a first pitch strike to Cooper Bowman. We're underway for game 2 at 2:20. 0-1 the count here to Bowman. And he looks at his 0-1 pitch and fouls it off, and quickly he is behind 0-2. Cooper Bowman finished with 3 hits, 3 for 4, an intentional walk, also reached on an error in game 1. Quickly, he's in an 0-2 hole to Cody Brooks. And Brooks deals, swung on and fouled off again, and Bowman stays alive. It's still 0-2. Not too many changes as well for the Sixers. We'll get to their lineup in just a few moments. 0-2 again from Brooks is swung on and popped up foul once again and out of play. And the count will hold once again at 0-2. So at least Bowman is fighting it off. Cody Brooks starting for the Sixers. 4 pitches in, they're all strikes. 0-2 pitch. Swung on, popped up again. Foul, and Bowman stays alive. Another 0-2 pitch. Brooks deals. Swung on, and that ball is hit high in the air to left center field. Storm Nelson, patrolling center again, is on the track, and he makes the catch on the run. Great play by Storm Nelson to retire Cooper Bowman. A great piece of hitting from him, but Nelson robs him of what would have surely been at least a single, if not an extra base hit. 1 up, 1 down for the Hard Hats on offense. That'll bring us to Connor King, the center fielder. Connor King, the lefty, up against Brooks, the right-handed pitcher. First pitch misses low and away, ball 1. And the 1-0, fastball called strike on the outside corner, and it's 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, the count here to Connor King. He was in the leadoff position in the last game. And the 1-1, called strike on the outside corner again, 1-2. King went 1 for 3 with a hit by pitch, an RBI single, a walk, and a strikeout. And Brooks full windup, 1-2 pitch. He misses low and away, and it's 2-2. King once again is patrolling center field for the Hardhats in this game. And here comes the 2-2. Low and away, and the count goes full. So credit Connor King for battling to a full count. Here comes the payoff pitch from Brooks. Swung on and missed, strike 3. First strikeout of the game for Brooks here in the top of the first inning. 2 up, 2 down for the Hardhats, and that'll bring us to Matt Hegre, the third baseman. Hegre went 0 for 5, reached on an error, struck out 3 times in game 1. It was an unfortunate go for him. So he is still looking for his first hit of the day. And his first pitch from Brooks is swung on and missed. 0-1 for the Hardhats third baseman, hoping to avoid that the Hardhats go 1-2-3. And the next pitch misses high and away, about letter high, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Here comes the 1-1. Swung on, and that ball is hit to short. Andren gets the stop.